When I sat down to write the notes for this video, I had some kind of stomach flu thing going on. I did not feel good. And so I'm like writing these notes down about avian influenza, and I started to just feel really overwhelmed about the whole situation. That kind of brought to light how when we're feeling vulnerable, feeling scared, when we don't have all our needs met, we can really make poor decisions from that place of fear. And those decisions might not be in our best interest. And I have to admit, I've got feelings about what's going on right now. I've got reservations about it, and I just want to talk about it. Hello, friends. Welcome to Chickenlandia. My name is Dahlia. I'm a backyard chicken educator, also known as the president of Chickenlandia. Raising chickens has been the best way for me to find peace and joy in my life, and I want to help you find that too. Oh, Gallagher. This is Gallagher. You are stinky. You are stinky today. I'm gonna put you down. I'm actually shooting this video a couple weeks before it is gonna come out, so things could be different right now. But as of the time that I'm shooting this, there are very few eggs on the shelf in my hometown, and the few eggs that are there are very expensive. So there's a real feeling of uncertainty going on. It's not great. I don't like it. And of course, that is being blamed on avian influenza and its effect on the large poultry houses that we depend on to have eggs on the shelves. Hello, everyone. Bunch of chickens here. Whenever I make videos about avian influenza, and unfortunately I've made a few of them, these are not my favorite videos to make. I would rather not be talking about this. But whenever I do make these videos, I have run-ins with two kinds of people. And the first kind of person that makes comments under these videos will accuse me of saying that bird flu is fake and that it doesn't exist and that it does not pose a risk to backyard flocks or to humanity or anything. And I have literally never said those things. I have never said that bird flu is fake. I don't believe that I have downplayed its effect on us or its possible effect on us. What I have done in my past videos is just taken stuff out of the news and like regurgitated that with a little bit of my opinion sprinkled in here and there. But I've never said that it's fake. I'm not saying that. I do believe that bird flu is out there and that it is affecting some flocks. There is another camp of people that will tell me I shouldn't be talking about bird flu at all because it's not real and I'm lying to the public and I'm in cohorts with like government agencies, which is funny because if you've been watching my videos for a long time or if you've read my book, then you know that that is not true. In fact, I have some real issues with one government agency in particular, a 3-letter agency, that was involved with some really corrupt things in my family's country, Guatemala. Now, I'm not going to go totally into that right now. I've talked about it before in my bird flu videos, but if you want to know about it, it has to do with the food industry. It has to do with a civil war that lasted almost 40 years and a lot of bloodshed and corruption. So if you want to learn about it, you can just Google United Fruit Company and Guatemala, or you can Google Chiquita Banana and Guatemala, because Chiquita Banana is the United Fruit Company. So all that to say, I know that these videos are going to upset some people. I can't make a video about this without upsetting some people. It's just going to happen. But I do confess that I have some serious reservations about how the avian influenza thing is being handled right now. And a lot of that comes from, my personal experience with what happened to my family's country and how that was intertwined with the power of the food industries in the United States and across the world, actually, and government interest in those food industries. So coming from that perspective, I just already have a distrust of these systems that are really supposed to be there to serve us, to feed us, and to keep us secure in, just knowing like where our food is going to come from. What bothers me the most about this is that I don't want to see people be hurt. And the people that are hurt most by disruptions in the food industry, like what's happening right now, are poor people. Those are the people that are hurt worse. We're all affected by it, but it can really, with enough disruption in the food industry, people can starve. Like, that's how serious it is. So that's the part about all of this that bothers me the most. The other side of that is when there is a big disruption in the food industry, there are a few people that actually stand to gain from that. And it's something that is very unfortunate. There shouldn't be people that are going to get rich when bad things happen, and especially not at the same time that, people are experiencing food scarcity. Like that, that's not a good thing. When we are made to be afraid of backyard chickens, our dependence on factory farms grows. And so when I'm looking at that and I'm looking at how bird flu is handled, I start to feel really suspicious. I just start to feel like the best case scenario is this is being very mismanaged or mishandled. Okay, sorry, I have to come into the coop because it is starting to rain outside. It's like rainy and windy and crazy outside, so here I am in here. So through all of this, what I keep coming back to is the compromise that factory farms present to the public, and especially when compared to like a backyard flock. So let's say avian influenza hits a factory farm and there are millions of birds on that farm. First of all, they will all be destroyed. And then because of that, the food system will be affected. What I really get frustrated by when this scenario happens is that the media, most of the time, will tell the public, a million birds died of avian influenza, when that isn't actually what happened. And that obviously creates a lot of alarm and a lot of concern from people that don't understand that they're not being told the complete truth. The real story is likely that there was some illness in the factory farm, there were some losses, some testing happened, and then that entire flock, if you can call it a flock, it's not really a flock because there's not flock dynamics, but that entire housing full of possibly 1 million birds has to be killed or culled. And the people that go in and do that kind of absolutely horrible work are usually prisoners in a prison work program, or undocumented people that are being detained or not being detained, that they've been hired for that, to handle that situation. And if you can imagine what an absolutely horrible environment those people are going into, like millions of birds killed, and they have to go in there and either do the culling or they have to clean it up or both. That is just such a glaring risk to the public. And in fact, I think it was in 2022 when I made a video about this, there was a guy that they thought that he had contracted avian influenza. They weren't completely positive. They thought maybe he had it or he just had the viral material in his nose, but he tested positive for it. So they counted him as someone that had avian influenza. And that's what happened. He was in a prison work program and he was exposed to these horrible conditions. If the powers that be really cared about how avian influenza could affect all of us, could affect humanity, then the first thing they would do is address the situation with factory farms and encourage all of us to keep chickens in our backyard. Chickens in our backyard is way safer of an environment than factory farms, period. So anyway, yeah, this is my controversial opinion. I don't think it's being handled right. I don't think that mass culling birds really is the right way to go. I think a better scenario would be that we build resilience, and that means that within a flock, let's say there's a backyard flock that contracted it, and some birds have perished from it, and some birds clearly have built immunity against it. Those are the birds that we should breed so that we can build resilience generation after generation, and chickens can actually be resistant to this type of disease. But the way we're handling it now, that is not happening. Like, herd immunity is not happening because we are culling, these big poultry houses and also backyard flocks. And all of this is to protect the poultry industry. That's what it's about. It's not to protect us. It's to protect the bottom line of the poultry industry. And that bothers me. So there's one more thing I want to say. When chickens don't have their needs met, when they're hungry, like they're not being fed enough, when they're stressed out all the time, they will attack each other. I think about that, and I think about this scenario that we're in right now, where we feel really vulnerable. Like, people feel vulnerable when they see that eggs are so expensive that they can't afford them, or when they see that there's just no eggs on the shelf, they can't even feed their family. That makes people feel really stressed out. That makes people feel vulnerable. And what will human beings do if their needs aren't met? They start to turn on each other. And that's the one thing that I don't want to see. Wherever you are at politically, make sure you're placing the blame on the right people. And it's not us, it's not each other. Okay? That's my message. So, if you are concerned about bird flu and you want to know about how to keep it out of your flock and some steps that you can take to protect yourself without feeling like scared and everything, I do have a playlist about bird flu, and I have I think the first video is just how to protect your flock against it. So I am going to leave that on the screen right now. It's 100% friendly, I promise. Backyard chickens, education, and entertainment. And I know you're gonna love it. Stay safe out there, and I love you guys. Thanks for listening.